Hi, I'm Sandra Garratt of Sandra Garratt Design at sandragarratt.com, and today we're going to discuss the steps to sew on buttons. So you're going to need a few tools and supplies to sew on your buttons. First, the garment or the item that you need to sew your buttons onto, and your buttons, a pair of very small, fine sewing scissors, your thread appropriate for your button, and make sure you get a good quality. And in this case, I like to use a polyester. It doesn't snarl or ball up when you're sewing like some of the cotton threads will do. So stay with the polyester. And then you'll also need some sewing needles. And for our purposes today, I'm using a larger yarn and a larger needle just so we can see it rather than a very fine needle. So there's basically two types of buttons, no matter what size, no matter what they look like. And one is a punctured button, and this could have 2 holes, 4 holes. It can be fancy, but basically it's a punctured button. You're sewing that on. The other type of button is a shank button. And this button generally, again, no matter what size or how it looks, is going to have a clean face surface. There's no punctures. And if you look on the back, there's a little raised stem, and that's your shank, and your thread goes through there. So you've got your basic punctured button and your shank button. What you need to do for both of them, the setup is identical. First, you'll need to thread your needle, and in this case, I like to do a double thread. So you pull it through your needle, even up the ends. Make sure you trim it. And this is why you want like the fine scissors so you can really get in there. So the setup for either button, and if here we've got a neckline button that we're doing, that you need to build an actual shank for it. So I like to just where your button mark is, or where you want to place your button, and we've got a double thread. So I like to generally do this 3 times. So we've set up our basic button here, and then we bring the button in. And this one actually is a 4-hole placement. So you go from side to side. Some people like to do an X cross. Some people like to do more of a box, but I like the kind of traditional tailor's look of the box. Let's see, trying to get this through here. Here we go. And then you just bring that through again. And this way, with a double thread, you've really secured that button. So after you've gone through your holes, you come through, but not coming through the top. And here you then wrap it around twice. And then do one more stitch. So what you've done is you've actually created a bit of a raised shank, even on your flat punctured button. So you bring that through. This is what I get for using a chunky yarn here. But actually here we would go ahead and just knot that off and untrim our button. And there you've got it securely on there. And the reason why you create that little shank, so it raises it slightly off the face of the fabric. So it gives you room to manipulate that button when you're putting it through the buttonhole. I'm Sandra Garratt. Hope you found this helpful on our steps to sewing on buttons.